Hello everyone, this is Professor N. Tripade from KKV College of Food Technology, Nasik. So today we going to discuss about the FSSAI specification for the beverage. It is regarding to the subject FPT 237 Processing Technology of Beverages, semester 3rd. So before moving further, let's have a small introduction about the FSSAI. The food safety standards. The Food Safety and the Standard Authority of India has been established under the Food Safety and Standard Act, that is 2016, which is consolidate various act and order that have handled food related issues in various ministries and department. FSSAI has been created for laying down science based standard for the article of food and to regulate their manufacture, storage, distribution, sales, and import to ensure availability of safe and wholesome food for the human consumption. So main motto is to ensure the food safety as well as to maintain the standards regarding to the manufacturing, the storage, and the distribution and the sales, or we can say the export import for the human consumption. It is under the FSSAI. And let's have some highlights of the Food Safety Standard Act 2016. Actually, before FSSAI establishment, there are several acts that act differently for the different product, such as uh, Prevention of the Food Adulteration Act like 1954, then Product Order 1955. For meat, it is Meat Food Product Order 1973, Vegetable Oil Products Order 1947, and Edible Oil Packaging Regulation Order 1988. So these are the acts for the different products. So it is very difficult to follow the protocols of the different acts. So that is why only single act is implemented by the government of India, that is FSSAI. So the act also aims to establish a single reference point for all matters relating to the food safety and standard by moving from multi-level to the multi-department control to a single line of command. And then to this effect, the act establishes independent statutory authority, the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, with the head office at Delhi. Actually, the main office of the FSSAI is situated at Delhi. So already we have seen it is established in the year of 2006, sorry. uh, it is actually comes under the Ministry of Health and Welfare, Family Welfare, Government of India. Is the administrative ministry for the implementation of FSSAI. The chairperson, or we can say the chief executive officer of the Food Safety Standard Authority of India, have already been appointed by the government of India. The chairperson is in the rank of secretary to the government of India. So the chairperson, or we can say the chief executive officers, are actually appointed by the government of India by the secretary, which is very high post, and this comes under the Ministry of the Health and Family Welfare under the government of India. So let's have small look on the FSSAI notifies standard for the non-carbonated water-based beverages, which is non-alcoholic. The FSSAI has already notified the food safety and standard at, in the 10th amendment regulation 2017 on the September, which is actually held on September 20, 2017. uh, which in principle outline the standard for the alcoholic and non-alcoholic carbonated beverages. However, the FSSAI has enlarged the scope of this regulation to the include emerging segment of non-carbonated and non-alcoholic water-based beverage, in which comes under flavored water, then herbal water, which are making their way into the Indian beverage market. The amendment was made after due to consideration of the suggestion and the objection of the stakeholders. This regulation features separation uh, on the basis of general as well as the microbiological standard for the specific characteristic non-carbonated and the non-alcoholic water-based beverages. They have standard for the range of these beverages like flavor water and herbal water. They also outline the ingredients that are permitted for the use in the beverages, and many have been included so to widen the scope of standard, encourage the innovative products. The use of caffeine in the herbs is permitted, but within the limits prescribed and in the accordance with the regulation. So some standards are set by the FSSAI for the non-alcoholic best beverages, in which comes under the flavor water, then herbal water. So we have to follow those standards according to the 10th Amendment Regulation 2017 of FSSAI. Then what exactly what exactly the this standard exactly covers? As we saw in the previous slide that it specifies the separate general as well as the microbiological standard for the specific characteristic. Then it covers the novel beverages such as flavored water and herbal water. It allowing the use of fruits and vegetable then herbs and spices and the salts substitutes in the addition to the sugar and the non-sugar sweeteners such as honey, in which dextrose monohydrate etc., and the flavoring to the widen scope of the standard and encourage innovations. Allowing the use of caffeine is not more than 145 ppm in such beverages. If we are adding the caffeine, so amount must be up to 145 ppm in such kind of beverages. Allowing use of herbs specifies in the food safety standards. If suppose there is health supplements or we can say the nutraceutical foods, so those, or we can say the dietary use food has to follow these guidelines of the FSSAI. Okay, so move to the next slide. So what exactly the non-carbonated water-based beverages? The non-carbonated water-based beverages is actually a beverage which is containing water but without added carbon dioxide in it, and having different kind of ingredients such as sugar, liquid glucose, dextrose, or we can say invert sugars or other food additives. If we are adding the caffeine and that that is not exceeding amount that is not exceeding as per the FSSAI standards like 145 ppm, then if you are adding the food additives, it must be covered the standard specified for the food additive of the FSSAI regulation, which is given in the appendix A. Then we have to maintain the microbiological requirement, which is comes under the hygiene, and also we have to follow the labeling regulation, that is laid down under the Food Safety Standard Authority Regulation 2011. So these things we have to keep in mind while processing the non-carbonated water-based beverages. Non-carbonated beverages means it simply does not contain any purged carbon dioxide, or we can say without added carbon dioxide. It is plain beverage. So these are some general requirements, general microbiological requirements for non-carbonated beverages. Now we can see the total plate count per ml is not more than 50 cpu per ml. Then yeast and mold count same, it is not more than 2 cpu per ml. And third one is very important, coliform count, that must be absent in 100 ml. If suppose coliform count is more, that may be chances a person will suffer from any kind of any chronic any acute disorder, acute stomach disorder, or it will be lead to any chronic disorder too. So what are the operational regulation standard for the non-carbonated beverages? Food Safety Standard Authority of India Amendment Regulation 2017 relating to the standard of non-carbonated based beverages. Actually it comes in the effect from July 6, 2017. The draft regulation regarding the same were notified in the October 2016 for invading command of the stockholders, in which FSSAI said the food business operators shall follow the standards for the non-carbonated beverages as specified. The enforcement of the regulation shall commences on only after the final regulation and notify in the Gazette of India. In the Food Safety Standard Regulation 2011, in the regulating relating to the beverage other than the dairy and the fruit beverages, fruits and vegetable based beverages, in the category caffeinated beverages, the standard of the non-carbonated water beverages have been added. So we have to keep in mind that we have to different standard for the operational regulation of the non-carbonated carbonated water-based beverages. Non-carbon, already we have seen the definition of non-carbonated water-based beverages, that is it has to follow the laws, or we can say the standard of the FSSAI, and which does not contain any carbon dioxide and may contain ingredient as specified below, like sugar, liquid glucose, or fructose, honey, salt, or other additives. Okay, non-carbonated water may be contain caffeine not exceeding, same as we seen in the previous slide, that is 145 ppm. Next is what exactly the thermally processed food. We have been seen like in recent years lifestyle has been increasing the demand of ready to eat food because of the a person getting in a rush, in the hurry. So it is so those people don't get the time to eat the food, so in the less time they want highly nutritious food. So there is one process called thermally processed food. Thermal processing has been enabled food manufacturers to create a number of thermally processed food options for the consumers. The basic purpose for the thermal processing of the food is to destroy or to inactivate the enzyme and produce physical and chemical change so food meets the certain quality standards, in which two methods generally given, that is pasteurization and sterilization. In pasteurization, temperature is provided in between 72 degrees centigrade to the 85, or in USD it is like 131 degrees centigrade. And in sterilization, we know that sterilization temperature, that is 100 degrees centigrade. These two, in sterilization all kind of microorganism are get removed. uh, Only we certain dormant cell, but they are in the form of inactivate, they are inactivate form. And in pasteurization, some harmful organisms are removed, not all. So according to the agriculture and biological engineering department, that is situated in the Florida, which says the thermal processing or the canning is the method of sterilizing a food by heat in the thermally sealed container, which allows ready to eat food that are neither frozen nor dehydrated to remain safe and wholesome during the months and even the years of the storage at the room temperature without use of any additive or preservative. If in the thermal processing, a product is been treated under the certain heat, it is called as canning, or we can call it as appealing or appetizing. Sorry, appetizing. Actual product is been heated in the sealed container, so there is no any external thing is been gone inside the that container, so there is no any chances of growing any unwanted microorganism. So according to Codex Alimentarius, there should be some process. There should be take some consideration, like we have to adjust the pH of the product and the time to each equilibrium pH. The product composition and formulation, we have to focus on the product composition as well as the formulation. Level of preservatives must be in the standard according to the FSSAI. Also there is very important thing, water activity. We have to focus on the water activity. If suppose the water activity will increase, the chances of microorganism will be increases. So water activity is very important parameter while processing any food beverages. Then some microbial flora, that is Clostridium botulinum. It is very dangerous strain which has carrying a neurotoxin. It must be inactivate while thermal processing. Container size and type must be taken consideration also, and some organoleptic quality also taken consideration while processing those products. What are the common guidelines for thermally processed food according to the regulation? Simply, we have all these product can be sterilized in the container or out of container sterilization. Product will be conform the microbiological requirement given the regulation. They can be can or bottle, or flexible packaging should be there beside other ingredient as required, as this product may contain food additives permitted by the FSSAI regulation. If suppose there is juice that may have been concentrated or reconstituted with the water for the purpose of maintaining the essential composition and the quality factor of the juice product will be called sweetened juice till the added nutritive sweeteners. If suppose there is pulping including the mango pulp may contain one or more nutritive sweeteners in the amount of not exceeding 50 gram per kg. So all the product must have been follow all those FSSAI regulation. Already we have seen in the previous slide, so this is same regarding to the those FSSAI regulations. These are some values are provided by the FSSAI, that TSS, minimum TSS, and the acidity, or we can say some acid if you are using the citric acid, so values are given as per this standard. So for the apple juice, total soluble solid is not more than 10%. Similarly, other fruit juices, that may be the 10%, or we can say 15, up to 15 or 10%. TSS we have to maintain the 10 to 15%. And there is citric acid, we have to add like 3.5 to 4%. So what is exactly mean by decaffeinated, roasted and the ground coffee? Roasted decaffeinated coffee means properly clean green coffee which has been decaffeinated and roasted to the brown color and has developed characteristic aroma. It is in brown color and has some aroma for it. Ground decaffeinated coffee means a powder product obtained from the roasted decaffeinated coffee only, and shall be free from husk. It must be free from husk, and it is obtained from the roasted decaffeinated coffee. Decaffeinated soluble coffee powder, which is means obtained from freshly roasted and ground pure coffee bean from which most of caffeine has been removed. The product shall be in the form of free flowing powder or shall be in the granule form, having color, taste and flavor characteristic of coffee. So these are the requirements for the decaffeinated, roasted and the ground coffee. These are the standard we have to maintain. So first of all, there is a moisture content, total ash, acid insoluble ash, water soluble ash, then alkalinity of soluble ash in the millimeter of 0.1 normality HCl per gram material. Then there is aqueous extract, caffeine percentage in anhydrous form. So moisture content is between the 5%. Then we have to maintain the ash content, that is ranges between 3 to 6, and similarly to the caffeine content, that is aqueous anhydrous caffeine content, it is about the 0.1. Decaffeinated soluble powder, same parameter here. We have to maintain the moisture content, that is up to the 4%, total ash percent up to the 12%, caffeine is not more than 0.3, and solubility in boiling water and solubility of cold water, that is depending on the dissolve readily in the 30 seconds with a moderate stirring. FSSAI notification for the alcoholic beverages regulation 2018. The standard specified in this regulation shall apply to distilled undistilled alcoholic beverages. In that we have to know about we have to know about the alcohol by volume, which is means ethyl alcohol, or we can say the ethanol content in the alcoholic beverages expressed as percent of the total volume. Alcoholic beverages means beverage or liquor or brew containing more than 0.5% alcohol by volume. The ethanol used in the production of the alcoholic beverage should be agricultural origin. Another factor is another term is alcohol proof, that is 1.7 times the ethanol contained in the alcohol beverage by the volume. Mostly distill has the alcohol concentration is up to 42% proof as per the undistilled, and distilled beverages having high alcohol content. So these are the general requirements. The tolerant limit of the ethyl alcohol content should not be 3.3%. The water used for dilution of bottling strength shall meet the requirement as BIS standards, or we can say Indian standards. These are the chart which is showing the requirement for the low alcoholic beverage other than wine and beer, or we can say the distilled beverages. For the packaged drinking water, this calcium and magnesium ions which causes hardness to the water, and that not must be more than 20 to 75% or 10 to 30%. These are the references for these slides. Thank you so much.